Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 5, Episodes 11, 12, and 13. Yes, it's another triple recap. No, I did not abandon Miami. The way y'all were DMing me these past few weeks, like, Brooke, where is the Miami recap? And you guys know that the doll has been busy. But we are here. I have a lot to say. Alexia, Marysol, and Larsa, you continue to work my nerves. Dr. Nicole has y'all panini pressed because the jealousy has continued to jump out in each episode. Y'all should be so embarrassed that you guys are grasping at straws to find an issue with this woman. It reminds me so much of what's going on in Potomac, with how they treat Dr. Wendy. The jealousy is real. And y'all cannot take that Dr. Nicole is successful in her own right, has a name of her own, and she has a very wealthy, soon-to-be husband. And you guys are extremely envious of that. But y'all, let me not jump ahead. Let's just get right on into it, because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. Now, just a quick disclaimer. Since this is a triple recap, nobody has the time to be going over every single detail. I am only going to discuss the most relevant and the most explosive scenes in each episode, okay? So don't be upset if I skipped a really boring scene, because again, we have 3 episodes to cover and I'm not trying to be here all day, and neither are you. Now, in episode 11, we started off at Nicole and Anthony's engagement party. It's real lit. We already know that in the previous episode, Alexia and Marysol brought the BS. So Nicole is upset. She's telling Adriana that Alexia and Marysol are defending Larsa. And even Adriana's confused. She's like, why would they do that? They all know that Larsa's wrong to start some rumors about how Nicole hooked up with half the doctors at the hospital. Like, that's very slanderous and it's evil. But I said, now, Adriana, you already know how Alexia, Marysol, and Larsa are, so this should not come to any surprise to you. They just don't want to like Nicole. That's all this is. So Nicole says that they all know how hard it is for a Latina woman, especially in the professional setting, to make it. So for them to all repeat these rumors like it's the gospel truth, that's a slap in the face. Now, Nicole, if I were you, I would have kicked Alexia and Marysol out of my party. Because how dare you? You come to my engagement party, Marysol has the audacity to be wearing white like it's her day. But on top of that, you guys are both sitting up here spouting out this nonsense that I'm sitting up here hooking up with half the staff at my hospital, knowing that those kind of rumors could have a major effect on my job. So security would have had them out my party immediately, because I'll be damned. You're not going to sit up here at my event eating my caviar and drinking my champagne, but then talking about me. Absolutely not. And honestly, if you look at Alexia and Marysol's body language throughout the party, it was clear that they were jealous, because Marysol seemed like she was determined to not have a good time. But I was happy to see that Dr. Nicole eventually left the ladies. She's enjoying her own party. I said, I know that's right. You paid way too much money to be insulted, so please leave them alone. Let them sit there in their misery and you go enjoy your soon-to-be husband. So anyhow, we now see Adriana and her date Thierry join the rest of the women, and they're just sitting down talking. Thierry says, let's have a toast to people minding their business and stop making up rumors that I'm married. So of course Alexia gets angry, because Alexia is one of those people who cannot own up to anything. She thinks that she's always right, and she wants her bad behavior to be excused. So she can't take the fact that this man is calling her out. So she goes on to tell him, well, you're in the wrong group then. I said, he's in the wrong group because he wants you guys to stop lying on him. So Thierry says, well, I can prove it to you that I'm not married. He pulls out his divorce papers and he slaps it on the table. So you have Alexia throwing the papers at him. She says, don't disrespect me. I said, Alexia has so much audacity. It's so aggravating. And I know I'm getting heated, but I was getting so pissed off during this scene. Alexia, you disrespect people all the time. How dare you think that you're able to say whatever you want and lie on people. Then when somebody checks you with the truth, now you want to call them disrespectful? And you can tell that Alexia doesn't really want friends. She wants yes men, because even Marysol said, well, maybe it wasn't updated in the public records. And then Alexia says, girl, shut up. And I said, so you're mad at Marysol because Marysol's even saying, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe he isn't married. You're upset with her about that? You just want Marysol to shut up, sit there, and not disagree with you? That's what you want? It's really pathetic. And I could not be friends with somebody like Alexia. She's very insufferable. And she's just nasty. And she always has to have the attention on her. So Adriana's defending her man, and she says, look, he's not married. Alexia, please stop saying that I'm dating a married man. That's all I'm asking. So Alexia's dismissing Adriana, and then she says, I don't want you to end up with an asshole, and now she leaves the party. Now, at this point, I said, it's clear that Alexia has some severe issues, because on what planet do you think that it's okay for you to be able to lie on people and they can't call you out and say, no, girl, you're actually wrong. Get your facts straight because I'm actually single, I'm not married. How hard is it for you to own up to what you said and say, you know what, I was wrong, I'm sorry. I really hope that Andy grilled Alexia at this reunion because her behavior all season long has been so disgusting. Now, when we jump to the day of Alexia's luncheon with her lawyer friend, I was really irritated because the amount of disrespect and the jealousy and the venom and the hate that was displayed towards Nicole, I was too through. We see Nicole and Marysol arrive first. Now, Nicole, if I were you, I probably would not have gone to this, because these ladies tried it at your engagement party a few nights ago, and now Alexia wants you to come to her home where she still wants to embarrass you some more. I would have declined. Alexia's going on about how she's hopeful for today. She has her friend, who's one of the top lawyers in Miami, coming by to talk to everybody, especially Lisa, about what to do since Lisa's going through this awful divorce. So now Alexia reveals that the other day she finally scrolled all the way to the bottom and realized that Adriana's date really is divorced. So she's like, yeah, he was telling the truth the whole time. And then she tries to laugh it off. So Nicole's looking at her like, really, sis? All that mess you caused at my party about this? You gotta feel like an idiot. And instead of Alexia saying, when I see Adriana, I'm going to apologize to her, instead, Alexia tries to laugh it off. And I'm like, you really have a hard time just apologizing, don't you? You sat up here trying to embarrass Adriana for a good 5 or 6 episodes. You said it in episode 3 that you thought that Adriana's date was married. And you kept harping on it. And now you finally see that he was telling the truth the whole time. And now it's, oh yeah, I guess he was telling the truth. That's it? That's a very nasty quality to have when you can't ever apologize. But we see Larsa arrive. I was happy that Dr. Nicole paid her dust. I said exactly. So now we see Julia arrive, and she's already annoyed. She says, when I come to your house, I want to be greeted with a hello, not with gossip. Because they were talking about all the mess with Adriana and the date at Nicole's engagement party. So while they're all waiting for Lisa and Kiki and Adriana to get there, they all start eating lunch. Now, they're talking about various issues. Larsa brings up Lisa and Lenny's divorce. She says that she was talking to one of her sons about it, and she was asking him, do you think that it's worse if your parents get divorced when you're younger or older? And her son said he thinks that it's worse when parents divorce when you're older, because when you're younger, you don't remember it. So then Julia brings up how her girls were teased about having 2 moms. So now you have Alexia interrupting Julia, and she says, wait a minute, Julia, I want to ask you something. How do you feel about women? Because I was really upset when we were all at Nicole's engagement party the other night, and nobody stuck up for me because Adriana's date was speaking very aggressively to me. Like, you guys all sat there. So Julia's like, what? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about right now? I'm telling a story about my girls being teased about them having a gay mom, and you're bringing this up because why? And I said, Alexia, what we won't do is act like we're a damsel in distress or a victim. Baby, you were raising your voice at that man, throwing the papers at him, cursing at him. So please don't act like he was screaming at you and you were just crying like, oh my gosh, this man is screaming at me. That wasn't the case. And another thing, sis, I think it's so funny how you want folks to jump in to defend you, but you never jump in to defend anybody. Unless it's Marysol, who do you defend on this cast? I'll wait. The same way that you didn't come to Nicole's defense when Larsa was spreading the lies about Nicole, but you want somebody to defend you. Got it. I said if somebody does not curse Alexia out at some point, please, because Alexia is overdue. Then Alexia talking about, well, he made a nasty comment saying that I need to learn how to read. And Adriana says, no, he only said that because we're all over 50 and the room was dark and we all know that we have failing eyesight. So that's why he said that. So at this point, Alexia starts going off talking about he accused her of spreading a rumor. And I said, no, he didn't accuse you of anything. He was right. You did spread a rumor. You actually spread a lie because the whole time the man was not married. He was divorced for 5 years. And you even found out later on, like, oh yeah, my mistake. He is divorced. So he had every right to check you on that. So Adriana and Alexia are going back and forth. Alexia looks like the biggest idiot. And then Adriana tells her, Alexia, you need to apologize because he's not married. So now Alexia's talking about, well, that's not happening. I never say I'm sorry. And I said, okay, I see exactly why you act the way you do. Like I said, dealing with Alexia, I would have walked out. I would not have stayed. Because for you to tell me to my face that you're not going to own up to what you said and apologize after it's been revealed that you were telling a lie, absolutely not. I'd be paying Alexia dust. Alexia could not say anything to me going forward. So now Nicole stops them. She's like, guys, stop fighting. We're all friends. I think that we have to remember that intent matters. So now she turns her attention to Larsa and she says, Larsa, I think the biggest problem between us is the fact that you say things that aren't true in front of a group of people and you're trying to hurt the person. Then Nicole goes on to say that I've never gone after you, I've never attacked you, so I'm confused as to why you have so much hate for me. So here goes Larsa trying to clap back, talking about, well, I can get loud too. I said, girl, calm down. You look dumb. Like, that's not needed. Okay, and nobody's afraid of you, sis. Like, let's be real. And Nicole wasn't even raising her voice when she was talking to you. She was talking to you in a very calm and even tone. So take it down a few notches. Take that bass out of your voice. So now Larsa claims that she has DMs about Nicole. So Nicole says, well, show me the DMs then. And then she says, well, I'm not showing you anything. And I said, when people say that, that's when you know it's a lie. Larsa doesn't have any DMs about Nicole. Because if she did, she would have showed them by now because we all know how petty and how evil Larsa is. And Larsa, how dare you? All the mess with you, you were out here dating Future while you were still legally married. Let's talk about that. I want Larsa to admit that she is threatened and also very jealous of Nicole. That's all this is. It's a bad case of jealousy. And you are really angry and pressed at the fact that Dr. Nicole, whether her and Anthony stay together or not, she will still be Dr. Nicole, accomplished in her own right, with a name of her own. And you can't say the same. So now the lawyers arrive. Lisa still isn't there, mind you, because she's always late. But the lawyers are there, and they're all asking the lawyers questions. Julia's asking, will the not say gay bill that passed in Florida, will that affect her adopting a child? So now Larsa's asking Julia questions, and Julia's, she's keeping it quiet. She says that with this group, she's not trying to share anything happy. And I don't blame you, Julia. I'd keep it quiet too. I'm a big believer in moving in silence. I don't talk about any premature plans to anybody. And I damn sure am not telling them to people who don't like me. So then we see Adriana ask the lawyers if they can confirm that Thierry's divorce decree is real. They say that it is real and that he is divorced. So she's like, I told you. So they all cheer for Adriana except for Alexia. You have Alexia rolling her eyes talking about, well, he's still an asshole. I said, girl, shut up. You're the biggest asshole in this group. You're just mad because you have egg on your face because you were telling everybody who would listen that Adriana's man was married and he's not. So now you feel dumb. And instead of apologizing and owning up to it like a woman, you want to sit up here and be nasty and throw jabs. So here's where things really go left. Nicole wants to know about defamation of character because of the lies that Larsa has been spreading about her. So immediately Alexia jumps in and she's like, he's not that kind of lawyer. Nicole, shut up. Go ask your husband. So Nicole says, you didn't go to law school. You're not a lawyer. Shut up. I said, thank you, Nicole. I was so glad she checked her. So now Alexia says that Nicole is wasting her friend's time. Then you have Marysol saying that Alexia already paid him. So now Nicole walks over to the lawyer and she says, well, here's my Black American Express card. I'll pay you personally to ask my question. I said, I know that's right. I was here for it. I said, what a subtle flex too.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
And the way Alexia and Marysol were so angry, you have Alexia saying, who does that? You would do that at a strip club, but who does that? Who takes out their Black American Express card and just does it? That is so rude. That's so tacky. I said, as tacky as you are? And a Black American Express has some weight on it, okay? So when she slapped it down, you heard that little thud, okay? And you think a Platinum Amex has some weight to it, a Black Amex gonna weigh your hand down. So the lawyer answers Nicole's question. He says that it depends on the type of things being said. So here goes desperate Marysol jumping out of her chair to show Nicole some DMs that she received. So Nicole said, girl, this is probably a fake account from Larsa. This doesn't even look real. And I said, Marysol, you look like the biggest clown. You really thought you ate, didn't you? I would have slapped that phone out of Marysol's hand. And one thing about it, I don't like Marysol. I think that Marysol is very desperate, very thirsty, always gave me big wannabe vibes. She's just not that girl.
If you know you're not fab, stop coming out like, bitch, like you that girl. You not fab like that to be doing all of that.
I want Bravo and Peacock to stop shoving Marysol down our throats. We don't want to see her on this cast because she brings nothing. Her being up Alexia's ass and drinking all day is not entertainment. So now Nicole says, let's get one thing straight. When I was separated, me and one of the doctors in the hospital did have a real relationship. We were two consenting adults. It was fine. It was what it was. That's it, that's all. Nothing salacious about that. Now, personally, if I were Nicole, I would not explain myself to any one of them. Because whatever I say, you're not going to believe me anyway. You're going to find some way to twist what I'm saying. So what's the point of trying to clear my name? So Marysol, Alexia, Larsa, and Nicole are all getting into it. I had secondhand embarrassment. I said, you have this lawyer here and y'all are screaming like this. I said, my God. But now we see Lisa asking a question. She wants to know if there's anything that she can do to prevent Lenny's new girlfriend from being around her kids. So the lawyer's answering Lisa, and then the lawyer also brings up that Lisa and Lenny can still live in their home. So now Lisa starts crying. They all comfort her. And then Nicole says, this is why we're here, to help and rally around Lisa. not for us to be fighting. So we end episode 11 with Lisa at home with the kids. Her kids are feeling the effects of this divorce because you see her daughter hitting her son Logan, and then she's disciplining Elle. Elle is crying, and she says that the kids can feel the tense energy. So now we see that Lenny's in the house. He doesn't say hi to her, doesn't greet her, doesn't even acknowledge her presence. Lisa goes up and she's like, so you're not gonna say hi to me? I'm the mother of your children. So Lenny says, no, I don't have anything to say to you. And I've said this in so many recaps. It is so disgusting how this man is treating Lisa and the children. But it's also a very painful reminder of how men act when they no longer want you. They really act like they can't even say hello or be decent. And that's really sad. He's acting like Lisa's the enemy. He's the one who broke up his family, has a new girlfriend, and doesn't want to be around, but yet he's mad at Lisa? That's insanity. So you have Lisa pleading with Lenny to just cooperate with her. She's like, by the way, we have to pay the nanny. Did you bring the checks? So he's like, no, you told me after I left the office. I only have some cash on hand. I can give her that. And then we see that Lenny's telling her that she's not cooperating with him and how he's going to let the court decide what's going to happen to her. And when Lisa walked out the room crying, I just shook my head. I said, Lisa, he wants to break you down. He wants to see you hurt and devastated like this. I wouldn't even give him the satisfaction. I just felt so bad because it's clear that she is trying her best to hold it together and try to be civil, and he does not want to be civil with her at all. Now, episode 12, sit tight, get comfortable, because I have a lot to say. Alexia and Todd, the way I'm about to go in on the both of y'all, because how dare you? I am Team Nicole and Team Anthony. But we start the episode off with Alexia and Marysol hanging out. They're at this weight loss center. They're good friends with the doctor there. And so they're talking about Alexia's luncheon. So Alexia says, who pays a lawyer with an American Express card? Like, that's just so tacky. Then you have Marysol co-signing, saying that the mask is falling off of Nicole and that Nicole really isn't that nice of a person. I said, the two nastiest individuals on this cast talking about somebody else being nasty. What a joke. And then Alexia says that even though she's still angry at Nicole, she's still not going to disinvite Nicole from their gringo dinner. And it's going to be a quadruple date with her and Todd, Marysol and her man, Guerdy and Marysol, and then Nicole and Anthony. Now we also see a parallel scene with Nicole at home, and she's FaceTiming Julia. She says, every time this group gets together, it's always a fight. I'm sick of it. Let's do a girls' trip to the Bahamas. That will be fun, and I'm here for it. I said, we know that Nicole knows how to plan a party and a vacation, and her money is real long. So this Bahamas trip is going to be really nice. And we see that in episode 13, but let me not jump ahead. We do see another short scene with Julia and Adriana. They're at the Baccarat Lounge, and I had tea at the Baccarat here in New York, and just fabulous, okay? Definitely an experience. Chef's kiss, I will be back. But anyhow, they're having some drinks, and they bring up Alexia's luncheon. Adriana says that that whole entire lunch went left. She's still upset at what happened. The fact that Alexia won't own up to what she did and say that she was wrong and apologize really pissed her off. Then she goes on to say that she's known Alexia and Marysol for a very long time, so it's really hurtful and disheartening to see where their friendship is now. Honestly, Adriana, Alexia and Marysol are two very miserable women, very hateful. They want to be mean girls at their big ages. And I'm not surprised that they're acting like this. I don't think that they're capable of being real friends to anybody. And Alexia only puts up with Marysol because Marysol is too afraid to challenge her on anything. That's the real tea. They switch gears in the conversation, and Julia brings up the adoption process. She says that it's not been going well and she feels discouraged. Now, my thoughts on this, I'm wondering if they're still doing it, because remember that Martina was just diagnosed with throat and breast cancer. I wonder if they put the whole adoption process on hold right now, or if they're still actively trying. Then we jump over to Lisa at home. Larsa's over, and of course, they're talking about Lisa and this divorce. So Lisa says that she got hit with more bad news. Lenny's trying to get some order to remove her and the kids out the house. So Larsa's like, are you kidding me? He can't do that. So now Lisa wants to know if Scotty treated Larsa this way when they were going through it. So Larsa says, no, but our divorce was hard. So then Larsa goes on this whole diatribe about how painful it is to have a public divorce because the whole world knows about it. And when she was going through her divorce, all the blogs and media outlets made her out to be the villain. And then she said, they kept calling me a cheater when we weren't even together. And I said, okay, Larsa, you guys might not have been together, but you guys were still legally married. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And then Larsa says that she chose herself because it was really sad to be in a loveless marriage and she couldn't do it anymore. Now, I wasn't surprised to find out that it was a loveless marriage. I didn't see any chemistry between her and Scotty. I just got the impression off rip that she was there because, okay? And that's no shade because I'm here for it. I'm here for women being with men who do have a coin, but I think that that was her only reason for being with him, if I'm being honest. Now we get to the quadruple date with all the couples, Alexia, Todd, Marysol, I don't know what his name is, Guerdy and Marysol, and Nicole and Anthony. They're at a Cuban restaurant and the food looked good. They had some fried pork belly, like my mouth was watering. But anyhow, they sit down, the conversation starts out light and fun. They're joking around about whose husband is the most gringo. And I think Nicole said that Anthony is, even though Anthony is half Cuban. But Nicole says that he is super American. Then Marysol's asking Russell about being a fireman, and he's like, oh, I love it. I'm actually up for retirement next year. Russell seems like such a calm and laid back and just nice guy. And once again, Alexia is determined to bring the mood down. So she's like, oh, by the way, Frankie saw us arguing the other day when the lawyer was over. It was supposed to be a nice, informative day for Lisa, but my friends over here had other plans. So she looks at Nicole. So Nicole's like, girl, don't blame me for why your luncheon went left. You told all of us that we could ask the lawyer questions. So Anthony jumps in and defends his woman, and he says, but he's a lawyer, he was there, and Nicole wanted to ask him a question. So now Alexia says, but Anthony, you're a lawyer too. She could ask you. So Alexia says, but Nicole, I'm pissed because you whipped out your Black American Express card and that was so rude and unprofessional. And you're a doctor. Then Marysol chimes in saying, yeah, that was just so rude. Like, who does that? You just plop your credit card on his lap. Like, again, who does that? I said, Marysol, shut up. All you do is drink all day long. I don't want to hear anything from you. Like, girl, please. Talking about somebody else has bad manners and unprofessional. So now Alexia gets on Nicole for not owning up to her behavior. She keeps saying that Nicole was disrespectful to her friend and she wants an apology. I said, now wait just a minute, because did you apologize to Julia about that comment that you made about Russian women being prostitutes a few episodes ago when you guys were in the Florida Keys? You deflected and didn't own up to that. Did you apologize to Nicole for storming out of her party? Did you apologize to Adriana and Adriana's date about accusing him of being married when he's not? You don't own up to anything that you say and do. So how dare you demand that Nicole apologize? I wouldn't apologize for anything. And if I were Nicole and Anthony, I would have gotten up and left this dinner. So Anthony jumps in, and I was here for the shade. He says, look, Alexia, if you feel like Nicole offended your friend, we'll send him some flowers and some chocolates. What kind of chocolates does he like? So now Todd jumps in and he says, Anthony, really? That's my good friend, and you're being condescending. What grown man is sending another grown man flowers and chocolates? Let's be real. You're being an asshole. So now Alexia starts screaming at Anthony, and I mean, she is cursing him out. And I was like, now if Nicole cursed your husband out, would you sit there and take it? And again, Nicole, you guys are way too nice, because I would have said, babe, let's get up and let's go. Because I'll be damned. This woman is screaming at me and now my man. And then you've got your man screaming at my man. But we can't say anything and check you guys. That's not going to work. And then when Anthony said, but you're assuming that your friend was offended. How do we know that he's even angry about what happened? And then Todd said, I spoke to him. He told me that he was very upset at what Nicole did. And by the way, that's why you work at a law firm with only 3 people. So Anthony's like, wait, what? Who works at a law firm with 3 people? Like, not me. I have a staff of 187 people. And I have 35 lawyers on deck. So Alexia and Todd are still cursing Nicole and Anthony out. And I said, y'all have the patience of a saint, because that table would have been flipped over. And I said, Nicole, you guys are way too nice. Like, yes, you guys are class acts, but enough is enough. And then you have Alexia saying, just say sorry, just apologize. And then here goes Marysol, yeah, just say sorry. And I said, but why does Nicole need to apologize? You guys lied on this woman. The rumors that Larsa is spreading around could cost her her job. What don't you get? She had every right to ask that question. I don't know why you guys are so upset. And Nicole, I was so mad that you apologized. You said, well, I did say sorry. And I said, Nicole, for what? You're the one who's owed an apology from Larsa, Marysol, and Alexia. And Guerdy, I like you and all, but I really wish that you would have jumped to Nicole's defense. You just sat there and let her take a verbal beating from Alexia and Marysol, when we can all see that Nicole is not in the wrong in this situation. And when Alexia said to Nicole and Anthony, you guys are both smartasses, that right there should have been your cue to leave. We're not doing this. Alexia, if you were on another franchise, you would have gotten a drink thrown in your face. Now, the final scene of episode 12, we see Nicole and Alexia going out for a glass of wine. They're going to try and hash out their issues and move on. Now, Nicole, you're a better woman than me, because I would never speak to Alexia again. After she insulted you and Anthony, and then had her husband insult you guys as well, absolutely not. There is nothing else to say.
No.
And I was also annoyed when Nicole said that she felt bad after that dinner. And I said, Nicole, why are you feeling bad? It wasn't your fault. I'm really hoping that next season, Nicole has an ally who will defend her and help her out. Because I'm so tired of watching her take a beating and she's not the one in the wrong. But anyhow, she and Alexia sit down to talk, and already Alexia is on that BS. She's going on and on about how hurt she was by Nicole's actions and how she just wants an apology. I said, what a huge slap in the face. You need to apologize to Nicole and Anthony, because the way you talked to them both was disgusting. And the woman who claims that I don't apologize to people, I don't say I'm sorry, for you to demand an apology, again, it's comical. Nicole, I was so irritated when you caved in and apologized to her. Alexia would not have gotten anything from me. And I wanted to jump into the TV when Nicole was trying to explain how she felt, and she said, I was triggered because as a Latina, as a professional woman, those lies could hurt me. And I was coming from a very hurt and triggered place. And then Alexia talking about, here you go, still making excuses. You still want to be right. And I said, why can't you just admit that you're jealous of this girl? And that's the real reason why you don't want to see her side. Because anybody with 2 brain cells can see that Nicole is not wrong in this situation. I said, once again, it's like watching Dr. Wendy against Mia, Giselle, and Robin all over again. Whatever she says, they're going to find a way to poke a hole in it and just find a way to be contrarian and spin it like she's the one in the wrong when she's not. And the biggest narcissist on this cast calling Nicole a narcissist. I said, Alexia is not bright. You're the one going off about how you're a star. You've always been a star since birth. How everybody wants your life, but now you want to call Nicole a narcissist? Really? Alexia can't function if it's not all about her. So Alexia and Nicole finally move on because Alexia got her apology that she didn't deserve. So now they start talking about Lisa and all the mess that she's going through. And then they bring up the Bahamas trip and how they're excited for it. Again, that final scene really pissed me off. Nicole did not owe anybody an apology. And I would not be inviting Larsa, Marysol, or Alexia on this trip. In all seriousness, they would really have a time with me if I were on one of these shows, because I would be paying so many of these cast members dust, because I wish you would slander my name and try to mess up my livelihood with lies, and then you expect me to still film with you and invite you on a trip that I'm paying for and hosting. Absolutely not. Now we get to episode 13. I'm not gonna hold you. Not a whole lot happened in this episode, okay? So we're gonna breeze right on through it. But it's the day of the Bahamas trip. They're at the airport. Everybody's there except for Lisa, because of course Lisa is always late. She's gonna be on the next flight. And then Marysol got COVID. And I loved how Nicole was not upset that Marysol would not be there. She was like, my history with Marysol on these trips, it hasn't been a good one. So I'm not too upset that she's not here. I said, I know that's right. And like I said a few minutes ago, Marysol would not have been invited. Now, all my Miami subscribers, you are so blessed at the Bahamas only being a 37-minute flight, okay? Talk about God's favor. But anyhow, they land in the Bahamas, and as they're in the car to the hotel, Guerdy is comparing her braids and Larsa's braids. Larsa, I'ma say it right now. Girl, you tried it. And Larsa getting defensive saying, well, I always wore braids. It's not a new thing to me. I was wearing braids when I was a kid. And I said, were you? And Guerdy's braids were chef's kiss. Larsa, an A for effort. That's all I'll say about that. But they arrive to the hotel and they are staying at the fabulous Bahamas. Now, let me tell you something. That hotel is everything and then some. Stunning. And it's low-key the hotel for all the Real Housewives, because the Beverly Hills ladies stayed there some seasons ago when Lisa Vanderpump was still on. I remember that. And I think another franchise stayed there as well. But yeah, they're at the Bahamas, and Nicole, Guerdy, and Lisa are in the presidential suite. The suite is everything and more. It's 2 stories, 24-hour butler service, their personal bar and bartender, a pool table, a panoramic view of the beach. I mean, everything. All the other ladies have gorgeous rooms as well. Like, no room was a bad room. And I also want to point this out. Why don't the Potomac ladies get these kind of trips? I want to know. One of you guys pointed out that Potomac's best trip was when Monique took them to Cannes. But again, let me just stick to Miami. But everybody has a fantastic room. Larsa and Kiki are sharing a room. Alexia's in her room. She was supposed to be sharing it with Marysol, but Marysol has COVID, so that's why she's not there. So we see Julia and Adriana in their room. And mind you, Julia went to, I think it's called a Botanica. It's a spiritual store, if I'm not mistaken. So we see Julia with her crystals, and then we see her sprinkling some, I think, sage around the room. Was it sage? Let me know. But then Julia goes on to say that it's protection, and she wants the group to be zen and calm this weekend. And I said, girl, good luck with that. So as all the ladies are getting ready to go to the pool, Lisa arrives, and of course, since she's staying with Guerdy and Nicole in the presidential suite, she plops her luggage down, and then she joins Guerdy and Nicole at the bar. So Nicole says that we want you to have a good time this weekend, Lisa. Don't think about the divorce. Don't think about Lenny and all your problems. Just have fun with us. Then she says that we're going to play a game. Anybody who says Lenny's name this weekend has to take a shot. And I swear, in the span of 5 minutes, Lisa had already said Lenny's name like 8 times. She was like, yeah, I'm trying to put together a birthday party for the kids. Just let me know if you guys want to come and I'll send Lenny the bill. Then she's talking about going to Disney World. Then she says Lenny's name again. And they were like, girl, you just got here. Have some fun. Unwind. But they all head over to the pool. And I loved how at the Bahamas, they have that huge water slide. So Kiki, Alexia, Nicole, and Guerdy all decide to do the water slide. And then you have Larsa, Lisa, Adriana, and Julia just sitting by the pool, drinking champagne and being boring. So I was laughing because Alexia said, we're like Sex and the City and they're the Golden Girls. And Larsa didn't even know the Golden Girls reference. She was like, what? Like, what is that? What does that mean? The producer was like, have you ever watched the show? And she was like, no. Even if you've never seen the show before, like, you haven't heard of the show, like, I don't know. I feel like Larsa has nothing in her brain. But while Lisa, Larsa, Julia, and Adriana are sitting, Lisa brings up Lenny and the divorce, and she says that the pain is unbearable. She just can't erase 15 years of all her memories with Lenny. But Julia comforts Lisa. She's like, I know your pain. That happened to me, and you feel like you're not going to be able to move on, but you will. Then Adriana gives her some words of advice, and she says, I understand your pain. It does hurt. It is devastating. And then she says, when a man falls out of love with you, it's like he never loved you. And she wants Lisa to know that love will come and find her again, and it's going to be okay. My hope for Lisa going forward is that she realizes that she is enough regardless of who she's with, because she really made her identity being Lenny's wife for the past 15 years. Instead of being, I'm Lisa, I'm whole on my own, and I'm married to this man. It was, no, I'm Lisa, I'm Lenny's wife. Like, I hope that she's able to find who she is and get to know herself. So now we see the ladies getting ready for dinner. When I tell you that the outfits were it, I loved Guerdy's outfit. She looked so cute in the green. I liked Adriana's outfit. That purple dress was stunning. Dr. Nicole, sis, you ate. That dress on her, gorgeous. I will always give props where props are due. The Miami cast can dress. Let me correct myself. Most of the Miami cast can dress, because Julia's fashions give dated. Like she had that in her closet for a good 30, 40 years. And again, no shade, but Julia, I'm gonna need you to step up. So when they all sit down for dinner, Julia announces that she went to the Botanica. Again, let me know if I said that right. But she says, yeah, I went there a few days before the trip. And then Alexia jumps in and says, oh, that's so funny that you mentioned that, because Marysol believes that somebody in this group put some witchcraft on her, and that's the reason why she's not here right now. So they're all like, girl, what? So now Julia starts passing out the crystals to everybody. Larsa's crystal says peace. Lisa's crystal says faith. I think Alexia's crystal said happiness. I forgot what the other crystal said, but they all got crystals. So Alexia thanks Julia for the crystal, but she's kind of skeptical. She's like, Julia, why were you at a Botanica anyway? That's a Cuban spiritual place. Please don't go for me, because I don't know what thoughts you're thinking. Again, don't go for me. Now, you could see that Julia was a bit annoyed, because here she is thinking that she did something nice, and Alexia is taking it the wrong way. But they all play Nicole's card game. Lisa reads her card. The question is, who would be the most ashamed of their porn search history? And then I think they all point to Adriana. And then Adriana says, no, it's fine. It's real simple. It's just DP. So they all start laughing like, girl, that's not simple stuff. And of course, Julia is confused. She's like, what's DP? And they don't tell her. I said, Julia, just take out your phone and Google. Julia reads a card. I think hers said something like, never have I ever injured myself during sex. Nicole says that she threw her neck out when she was giving head to Anthony some years back, and they all start laughing. They were like, you were in it to win it. I said, she sure was. That's why she has that big ring on her finger, and she's living the life of luxury with Anthony. Guerdy's card reads, send a text to the last person that you hooked up with. And then Larsa questions Adriana about her date. So Adriana says that she hasn't seen her man since Nicole's engagement party and how he's probably scared off by Alexia and the rest of the group. So now Alexia's like, well, girl, you didn't need him anyway. He was disrespectful. And I said, Alexia, shut up. You started all that mess saying that he was married when he wasn't. So now it's the next morning. We see Nicole, Alexia, Guerdy, and Kiki doing some yoga outside. And it was so funny because the flamingos were just walking around and Guerdy was freaking out. She was like, I do not do birds. Now, while they're doing yoga, we see Julia, Adriana, and Larsa up on the balcony, and they're in their robes, getting ready for their massages. So they're discussing their relationship with Larsa. Adriana says that she's happy that her and Larsa are in a good place, and then Julia says that she never had a problem with Larsa, but she's happy that they've settled their mess and that they're okay. So now Julia brings up the dinner and she's like, was it just me or did it seem like Alexia was accusing me of witchcraft? I didn't appreciate that. So Adriana agrees that Alexia was definitely trying to accuse Julia of doing witchcraft. And then she says that all we were trying to do was bring the vibes up, have a good time, be positive, but Alexia always chooses to see the bad. So they go into their suite to get the massages, and now we flip right back over to Nicole, Alexia, Guerdy, and Kiki. They've just finished yoga, and now they're talking about last night. So Nicole brings up that she had breakfast with Adriana and Julia a few hours ago, and they were talking about how annoyed they were about Alexia accusing Julia of witchcraft. So Alexia says, look, I'm superstitious, I believe in the evil eye, and I believe that subconsciously people can wish you harm even if they don't mean to. And then she says, take me for example. I met Todd, we're happy together, he's the love of my life, and the fact that Adriana doesn't have that and she wants that, she could be putting the evil eye on me. Now, let me just say this. I do believe that subconsciously people can transfer their bad energy on you. And another reason why I believe in moving in silence and not discussing premature plans, because yes, people's jealousy and envy can affect your plans and ruin them before they even got started. So I do agree with Alexia there. But I also feel like Alexia thinks that everybody wants her life and that everybody's out to get her, and that's not the case. If I'm being honest, I feel like they're all trying to blow this witchcraft storyline out of proportion for a moment because it's really not that interesting. She gave you some crystals, either accept it or don't. But now we flip back to Lisa, Larsa, Julia, and Adriana getting their massages. Lisa's telling them all about how Logan is having a hard time at summer camp, and obviously he's affected by the divorce and all that's going on. Then Larsa interjects and brings up the crystals that Julia gave them last night, and Lisa says that she really liked the stone. So of course, Adriana brings up her issues with Alexia and how Alexia really hasn't been there for her. She says, when I got divorced a second time, did Alexia call me? No, she wasn't there for me at all. The only person who reached out to me was Lisa. So now here goes Larsa saying that I think that Alexia is a great friend and Adriana is always a victim. I said, girl, please stop. Because she's not being nasty to you, now Alexia is a great friend. The minute Alexia turns on you, sis, you'll be the first one complaining about her. But we end episode 13 with all of them at the beach club. They're having some champagne, eating some food, and they're all talking amongst each other. Lisa thanks Nicole for putting together a great trip. And then we see Julia take Guerdy to the side, and she tells her the news that she and Martina are going to adopt a child. Then we see Alexia and Adriana having a conversation. Alexia's like, I've always loved you, Adriana. I've always considered you a good friend. I know that we've lost touch all these years, but I still love you. So Adriana's like, where is this coming from? It's obvious that Larsa ran her mouth and told Alexia what me and Julia said earlier on. And Larsa is a bone collector too. Larsa loves instigating and stirring the pot. So now Alexia goes on to place blame on Julia and Adriana being so close as to why she and Adriana aren't as close anymore. That's a really sad excuse to say, well, because you're so close with Julia, that's the reason why me and you aren't close. Like, what? So Adriana said, I look at you as a sister. You're like an extension of my family. And when you called me a liar, that really hurt my feelings. And I was waiting for Alexia to apologize to Adriana, but the apology never came. I said, once again, I think it is so crazy how Alexia demands all this respect, but doesn't give it to other people. And then, of course, here goes Alexia making more excuses for why her and Adriana have lost touch. And then she's like, well, I feel like your friendship with Julia, you excluded me and Marysol. And then Adriana's like, but when you and Marysol get together, you guys feed off of each other and act like mean girls. So as they're going back and forth, we all of a sudden see Marysol show up with a bullhorn, and she's like, I'm here. And Nicole's face looks so pissed, like, oh my gosh, she's about to ruin yet another trip. But guys, that was my triple recap. As you can see, I had so much to say, all right? I mean, I was heated because Alexia, Larsa, and Marysol really pissed me off. But if you're not tuned into Miami, please start watching. These girls are giving what the other girls were supposed to have gave, in the words of Rolling Ray. Miami is that girl. But guys, again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.